All right, so let's talk about the technology. This is a massive 12-inch screen that you get with this particular model of car. It's got a whole bunch of things, like I mentioned to you before. Your basic stuff that every car should have in 2023: Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Bluetooth, all of that stuff is all standard over here. It's fully touchscreen. The one thing I don't like about it though, is just a bit laggy. It's just a bit laggy, but other than that, it's pretty functional, very easy to use. Your climate control is also in here. There's no climate control dials down here. Everything is touchscreen, so you press over there, and then you've got a full display, which is quite nice. I quite like this. Then you can change your temperature like that. The passenger can also have their temperature changed, which is quite cool. That's your fan speed over here, and different controls down there as well. So from a technology perspective, this car has got pretty much everything that you would want. It's really, really good value for money. And you can obviously turn off some things over here. You got your turn off the radio over there, and you've got your camera selection over there. 360 camera, which is quite cool. This is a nice feature in this car. So you got your 360 camera over there, and you can choose what view you want. Isn't that cool? And it's proper views. It's not AI stuff. It's proper views, because those are the cars that are actually outside. Not a lot of German cars have that. Shout out to the Chinese for that. That's quite cool. Right, so the next thing for us to do now is find out how this car drives. I was reading up on the engine of this vehicle. It's a 1.5 liter 4-cylinder engine, and it gives you 110 kilowatts of power and 220 newton meters of torque. Now, when I first read that, I was a little bit concerned, because this car weighs just over 1.3 tons. That's quite heavy. And you need a strong engine for you to be able to hurl around that kind of weight. And my concern is that this car will not be fuel efficient. They claim that this vehicle will give you a fuel efficiency of 7.2 liters per 100 kilometers. But having driven this car around for a day or two, the lowest I could get this car was 12 liters per 100 kilometers. That is quite thirsty. That is quite thirsty. But anyway, let's drive it once again. Maybe I was driving it too fast. Let's drive it once again, and let's see what this car feels like. The one thing that I forgot to mention about this car is that it's got a head-up display. But the head-up display in this car is really terrible. It's not clear. I don't know, maybe my settings are not okay, but it doesn't matter how I look at it. I'd rather have it off, because you literally cannot see properly. Like, the numbers are blurred. You actually can't see. It actually could be something that could irritate you. The car on the road, it feels okay. There's nothing to write home about. It's not particularly exciting to drive, but it feels okay. It feels comfortable. The steering wheel feels really, really comfortable. It's nice and soft. The seating, like I said earlier on, is quite nice. The seats are quite comfortable. My main concern with this vehicle, and I said to you earlier on, is the performance and the consumption. I said it's a 1.5 liter, it's a 4-cylinder engine. It only gives out 110 kilowatts. Now that may sound like it's sufficient, but in a car that weighs so much, it could be a problem. It could be a problem in terms of the refinement of the engine, how the car moves through the gears. That for me could be an issue. So we're gonna test it out now again, and just to prove that point. So just taking off right now, everything feels okay. But when I start to accelerate and I start to go a little bit faster, then you start feeling that, okay, you know what, the car struggles just a little bit to get going. And that could be a problem when it comes to consumption. I actually want to feel what this car feels like in the corners. In terms of the drive, it's not as refined as your German cars. It's not as refined as perhaps its competition, like from the VW group or the Kia guys, the Kia Sportage. From Opel, you'll probably get the Opel Mokka. Doesn't feel as refined on the road, but it's okay. It's okay. It's not that bad. The brakes are okay, nice and sharp. It's not a bad car at all. It really isn't a bad car. I think if you are coming from let's say you've been driving entry-level cars all your life, and you upgrade into something like this, you'll feel right at home. You won't see any issues at all. The question is though, is it better than the Kia Sportage? Is it better than the Opel Mokka? You know what? I don't think it is. For some reason, I'm not 100% convinced. But I can see why people like this car. I can see why a lot of South Africans are getting into this particular vehicle. But other than that, I feel really comfortable in this car. I think there's enough space in the cabin. The steering wheel feels okay. There's pedal shifts in the gearbox, a whole host of extras, and the info display is quite cool. A lot of stuff that you can see from there. You can change different colors on the screen. So it's got nice tech. It's got nice tech. So let's talk about the elephant in the room here. Price. Starting price of the Haval Jolion is just under 300,000. In fact, it's about 299,000 rand. But you don't really want that one because that one is not that great. This one that I'm driving right now, the Jolion Super Luxury, this one starts at 485,000 rand. And this is the car that I think you should want if you want to buy an Haval. But there is also a hybrid version of this vehicle, the HEV, hybrid electric vehicle, that comes in at about 589,000 rand. But for that though, I think you're getting good value for money. I really think you're getting good value for money. It's a very nice car. It feels good. It drives okay. See the driver assist systems coming in. I'm trying to move into the other lane. So if you don't indicate, it's gonna aggressively pull you towards the lane. So you have to be pop. Otherwise you could cause So, the Haval Jolion Super Luxury. What's the verdict on this car? You know what? It's a very nice car. I think it really is a car that you could look at if you're looking for a budget small SUV. But before you run to your next Haval dealership, please check out the Opel Mokka. Please check out the Kia Sportage, because I think those two cars could really be a nice alternative to what this is. Guys, I hope you liked the video. Please leave us a comment and pass it on to your friends. We'll see you guys again next time. Cheers.